room and find out for us?
I will. For sure. Appreciate it.
Cade Cunningham, thank you. This guy, Johnny Kane, unbelievable. Finding a way to come through for this team. I'll send it to you guys for postgame.
Yeah, terrific, really. I mean, down the stretch for Cade. Again, you heard George mention on the call, nobody scores more fourth quarter points than Cade. But,
That's right.
He was sitting on, 9 or 11 points through a half, through three. And then they did such a good job bottling him up. But here's the rub. Because guess what? It's clutch time, and you're like, okay, Deuce, go to work. And obviously his 8 points in the fourth quarter. That was big time. We'll make him our cure auto. Again, you don't necessarily have to score 40, but when you score in spots when you need them, that's value.
Impactful scoring is what he did in the fourth quarter, but it didn't start off that way. Not only for Cade, but the entire team, Atlanta Hawks included, everybody struggled to gain a rhythm to shoot the basketball. It was nip and tuck throughout the game. I said this at the very beginning, Johnny. These teams are a lot alike in a lot of the statistical categories, and I thought it would be very close until the fourth quarter where somebody would have to be special, and that special person was Cade Cunningham. But he got it going with his defense early, and what I liked about what he was doing, he didn't hang his head because the offense wasn't going. He tried to find other ways to impact the game and generate some offense. When it became winning time, he was very, very intentional about, hey, I'm getting the ball to my spot, and I'm going to shoot over the smaller defenders. And precisely, that's exactly what happened. When you have a guy that understands his value on the team and that his teammates are looking to him to make something happen, either for himself or his teammates, then he delivers. Cade Cunningham was special in those last 3, 4, 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, as he has been in every game this season. That's why he leads the NBA in fourth quarter scoring.
Yeah, and the 3 blocks, obviously, big time today. He's got great size, obviously, as a guard, but tonight, obviously, everybody was. This is part of defense. You heard Cade talking about Ron Holland.
Yep.
I mean, I know we get to see it, night in, night out, but tonight had his fingerprints all over it tonight, and as Cade says, he'll probably get the championship belt because of just the energy that he brought, but the production that he brought. Sometimes it felt like I wouldn't say they were necessarily getting to a lull, but it was like they were just unable to kind of break through, and then all of a sudden here comes Holland flying from the sky, making plays, and obviously, a big part of the win tonight.
Well, what a nice luxury for Coach Bickerstaff to have when you have a team on the floor not developing any type of rhythm offensively to score the ball. Insert Ron to make something happen, whether with his defense to generate offense, he's going to come up with a steal. You saw him come out of the crowd. Cade Cunningham mentioned that there were 4 or 5 players on the floor. Somehow Ron comes away with the ball, scores it, and gets the foul. 3 ball he got to go down. He was just everywhere tonight. He was impactful in limited minutes with what he did with his energy. We've said this from the very beginning. Ron Holland, because of his energy, gets on the floor. What's going to happen? Sometimes we never know. But more times than not, it's going to be something impactful that's going to help the team win. And that's exactly, again, Johnny, what happened tonight. He stepped in when the team was in a lull as far as shooting or scoring.
Yeah.
He came in and just
It's because, to your point, these teams do mimic one another. They do like to turn you over. Obviously, Pistons kicked it all over the gym tonight, but they were able to do that to Atlanta. In particular, late in the game, they threw it away a couple of times, and the Pistons were able to stretch that thing out where you started to feel comfortable until they hit a couple of late threes. But to the point, their defense tonight by Detroit, I thought very good. You can win most nights the way they play defense.
Well, that's one of the things that concerned me coming into this ball game. The Pistons and their high turnovers as of late would play right into the hands of the Atlanta Hawks. But the Pistons were able to overcome, even though they had a turnovers as of late would play right into the hands of the Atlanta Hawks. But the Pistons were able to overcome, even though they had a hefty amount of turnovers, they were able to overcome it because they out-rebounded the Atlanta Hawks. They had 60 rebounds, the Pistons did, to 40-plus rebounds by the Atlanta Hawks. That's where the game was won. Never mind the turnovers. Again, the Pistons were able to overcome that with solid rebounding and great defense. You hear me say this all the time. You control the glass, you control the game. Secondly, the defensive possession is not over until you secure the rebound or the ball. And the Pistons did a fine job of that on so many possessions, especially in the fourth quarter, that kept the Atlanta Hawks at bay. It was the defense, the rebounding, all of those things played a major part.
I understand Atlanta doesn't have all of its length that they normally would without Kristaps Porzingis in there. But, in talking with Quinn Snyder before the game, he said, look, we can't allow them just to throw it into Jalen Duren have him dunk it all night. It's like, well, that happened a couple times, you know what I mean? But I thought Duren, in our Buick GMC Pro Vision, again, owned the painted area tonight. Effective double-double.
You know what's impressed me so far this season about Jalen Duren? That he has accepted his role of being one of the leaders of this ball club. And when I say accepted your role, that means that you have to be ready to perform night in and night out. You can't have those nights off where you don't play well. He comes in and gives you everything that he has, and he's been very productive in that role. So I like how he's matured into accepting that he's one of the key guys. This team is going to go, and they're going to need him to be at the top of his game most nights. And he has accepted that challenge. And listen, productive in that role.
But those final 4 minutes, you know, was really when it started to feel like you guys could start to push out to a run. What did you see in those final 4 minutes?
I thought we were great defensively. You know, there was a couple breakdowns late where we gave up a 3, but, you know, for the most part, I thought our defense triggered it. We were active with our hands, forced turnovers, got out in transition, created some easy opportunities for ourselves. And again, that's the tell of this team. You know what I mean? Like when called upon, we have the ability.
You know, the clutch gene is just part of his DNA as well. For him to turn it on after the way they were defending him all game in the fourth quarter, can you just tell us what you saw from him?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's developed an understanding and a belief, excuse me, in, you know, the timing and rhythm of when. And, you know, again, time and time again, he does the job when we need him to do it most. And I think, you know, he embraces that role, and he loves to do it for us.
Hey, Coach, can you speak on how big Ron Holland was for you guys tonight?
Yeah, he was unbelievable. You know, he was the spark for us. You know, we struggled tonight. We did. We struggled tonight. But I thought Ron gave us, excuse me, a ton of energy, you know, fire, the way he just competed. I thought he was phenomenal tonight.
Past just the defensive end, what'd you kind of like as far as the versatility that closing lineup offered?
I mean, it's big. It's athletic, it's versatile. You know, it's switchable. It's got rim protection. It's got guys who can guard one-on-one. It's got guys who can create a little bit of mayhem and come up with deflections and steals and allow us to get in transition. So, you know, it's a good group. You know, has the ability to be a great. So, you know, it's a good group, you know, has the ability to be a great defensive group.
After a 138 to 135 win, what do you learn about your team when you can win on a night when you don't get to 100?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just got to win ugly. And I think that's the tell of, you know, good teams in this league is, you know, it might not be your night, but can you figure out a way to get it done? And again, tonight wasn't our night. We didn't play, you know, to the best of our abilities. But you know, we competed hard enough to give ourselves a chance, and then we were there in the moment, and we had guys make plays for us.
Coach, with Duncan out, you had Dennis step in there as a starter. Just over the past couple of weeks, how has he kind of earned the trust of yourself, this coaching staff, to be able to go out there any night and be a starter?
Well, I didn't expect him to go 0 for 8, I'll tell you. Follow Motor City and then his summer league, like everyone could see the work that he was putting in and how he developed. And he's just extremely mature and intelligent and thinks the game. And, you know, by doing those things, you earn, you know, your coach's trust, but your teammates most importantly.
Hey, winning ugly, still winning, you know? There's Dennis Jenkins and Coach Bickerstaff. Nice win for the guys here as they make it now 2 in a row. Ron Holland, what a night for the young 17 points. We'll hear from him on the other side of this break. You're watching Pistons Live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance. The arena tonight on that motorized cart.
I heard they turned around and went and picked you up after you dropped him off. Is that true?
I think they're going to take Ron Holland all the way back to his crib with it tonight after the effort he played with. Let's go inside and hear from Ron Holland.
Hey, Ron, Coach just said sometimes you just have to flat out win ugly.
Yeah.
That's how he described it.
That's the story of us right now.
You know, how do you feel your defense as a this one ugly?
Yeah, I honestly feel like the way that we hang our hat on defense, it definitely says a lot about us. But when we're really up and we really want to guard from first quarter to the end, I feel like it's really hard to deal with us. But it's going to be nights like this. But I feel like what I'm most proud of is all of us to stay together throughout all this. There's going to be adversity throughout games, and the fact that we're able to stay together and pull out wins like this shows the growth that we've had over the last year. And I think we took a big step tonight, even though we took a big step tonight, even though it didn't look the best. The fact that we got this win.